Welcome to More Fanime. I'm your fan of more anime. How is everybody doing today? I am doing great because today is the day of all days. The day I and many of my More Fanimaniacs have been waiting for. Today is the first ever Grand Line One Piece Villains tournament. That's correct. We have 16 competitors, actually 18 competitors after you find out what happened in the first round of this tournament if you weren't following it on the More Fanime community tab. 18 fighters entered this 16-man tournament. The More Fanimaniacs voted on the More Fanime page. And the results are in. This tournament was fought to the bitter end. 18 once again entered the ring. The metaphorical ring. The battleground in one-on-one competition until the finals, which ended up being a fatal four-way with the 4 finalists. Are you ready to begin? Are you ready to find out who the greatest villain on the Grand Line really is? If you missed the first tournament on this page, the East Blue Villains Tournament, you should go back and check that out. I won't spoil the victor. Now, let's begin with match number 1. Match number 1 is Untitled versus Rob Lucci. Yeah, this was a big doozy. I wanted to make sure the first round was paired up in a good way. After I selected the 16 most influential characters, or not characters, villains, I guess, in the Grand Line, I got to preface as well before we continue this tournament. This tournament's cutoff point is before the New World, pretty much before Marineford, to be honest with you. Right before Marineford is where I kind of cut off, because that was kind of the beginning of the New World, where the emperors at that Yonko level of fighters, the admirals started entering the battlefield. And if I included admirals and people like Whitebeard in this tournament, it would be over in a second. But I wanted to make sure it was an even playing ground for most of the competitors. So I decided to have a cutoff. This has nothing to do with the New World. This is the villains from the Grand Line, the first half of the Grand Line. So if you're trying to power scale these people, think about their feats during their arcs, during when they were the villains of the story. So Untitled and Rob Lucci. I really liked this pair up, and I wanted it to happen during this tournament. So I decided, why not do it as the first match? I wanted to start this tournament off with a bang, people. With a bang. These two powerhouses. Untitled, literally a powerhouse. He has the electric fruit. He is a living human man Pikachu. He has mantra or observation hockey, very advanced observation hockey. And then you got Rob Lucci, probably a master of his zone fruit. Yes, that's one of the reasons I paired these two up, is the master of the Logia and the master of the zone fruit that we knew at this point. These two were the main villains of their arcs. Water 7 and hold on, I got it. Any Slobby for our boy Rob Lucci, and we got the whole Skypiea arc and now as their villain. These two going at it just made sense to me. And a lot of the arguments were that Rob Lucci did not know armament hockey at the time, so he could not damage Untitled. And I cannot believe that. I need to research this, but I would be shocked if he didn't know some version of armament hockey. I feel like even if he didn't, he would find a way to damage Anel. This isn't Rob Lucci's first fight. Like, he's been a spy for the government since childhood. You're telling me this is the first confident Logia he's ever dealt with? Nah, son. This is not the first Logia type that Rob Lucci has dealt with. No way, Jose. He's definitely dealt with a Logia type before. Maybe not as powerful as the Electric Man Anel, but he's definitely done it before. So I think this fight is much closer than the percentages that you're seeing here right in front of you. 85% for Anel and 15% of the vote went to Rob Lucci. I really thought this was going to be a 52-48. I really did. The minute I posted that first match, I was worried for Rob Lucci, admittedly. I mean, his arc was much later after Skype. Well, I guess not much later. It was a little while. I mean, it felt like a while after Skypea. But still, it was basically the next arc after Long Ring, Long Land. But he was the next big villain. So this matchup, I think they're at an equal playing field. Rob Lucci, the veteran, he knows how to fight. He knows how to assassinate. Then you got Anel, who's just overconfident because of his overpowered devil fruit. He was above the level that Luffy should have been dealing with, but Luffy just so happened to have his devil fruit ability of being gum rubber, so it deflected the electricity. But in the end, Anel walked away the victor. Do I agree? I'll go with this for right now. Let's put a pin in this fight, because I do believe this could go either way. I really do. And you're probably going to say I'm wrong. But for right now, Anel is moving to round 2. Now, match number 2 of round 1. I personally loved this pairing. We have Foxy and Wapol. These two just made sense. They were like peas and carrots. These two going at it just made my day. This bad boy actually turned out to be closer than I thought at first. Eventually Foxy took it, as you can see, 80% to 20% Foxy. You dog. You kicked ass and took names with the slow beam. Yes, Foxy with the slow beam. How do you beat it? And I think that Wapol, of all people, would not dodge in time. He would become slow. And yes, Wapol has the munch fruit, so he could possibly transform. But, I mean, really? His best option would probably be to eat Foxy. And it would really depend on the terrain of how much that Wapol has to work with. But, I mean, Foxy gave Luffy a decent fight, if you remember correctly. And Wapol got, blasted off again, thanks to Luffy's big right hand, I believe. And I got to say, I definitely wanted Foxy to go on ahead. I wanted Foxy in round 2. I wanted to make sure this was good pairings. Like I mentioned, I didn't want to put powerhouses like Anel against Wapol in round 1, and then we just end up with the obvious winners. No. I want to give everybody a shot. I wanted to pair up characters that would make sense. I do think that Wapol would put up a decent fight with Foxy. I do. But I think Foxy was an obviously better captain. He was a better leader. He treated his people right. Obviously, I mean, he's a strategist. Whereas Wapol is just a spoiled king that got lucky thanks to his birth. And kind of annoying. And Foxy's not annoying, but he was at least a decent dude. Once you watch the Adventures on Nebulandia, highly recommend, TV special, you'll learn to respect Foxy. So Foxy moves to round 2, and I 100% agree to that. Round 3. This was a good one too, and I really did expect this to be a little closer than it actually was. But I understand why it's not. We have Mr. 1 Das Bones versus Bellamy. Oh yeah, the spring fruit. Remember his hopper thing was like spring hopper. And this is Bellamy from, God, I can't not remember this. Jaya. This is Bellamy from Jaya. The same Bellamy that fought Captain Luffy. And this is Mr. 1 from Alabasta versus Zoro. This isn't the Mr. 1 who was in the damn prison, even though they're probably about the same in power. I would say he's probably a little stronger because he fought Zoro and lost. If that's how anime logic is, you lose, you get stronger, yeah, blah, blah, blah. He did great at the Marine Fort, but these villains are being pulled right out of the universe where they were fighting the Straw Hats. And we got Mr. 1. This dude can turn himself into a blade, his whole body. Then you got Bellamy. If I'm not correct, please tell me if I'm wrong. Didn't Bellamy have a higher bounty than Das Bones? I could be completely wrong. I might have just thought that, because I remember him being all about the bounties. But I need to look that up. I should have looked that up before this. It doesn't matter. Das Bones wins 81%, and Bellamy loses with a 19%. 19 being my favorite number. Personally, I like Bellamy more for his character and then stuff he does later in the story. I really liked him the first time we met him. I thought his design was cool. I like his character voice actor, who is also the guy who plays Augustus Kid as the English voice actor, which is kind of confusing. But these two would be a good fight. I do think so. Luffy took Bellamy out pretty easily, but he was being very overconfident, which I assume he would do the same, possibly to Das Bones. But I also think that maybe Bellamy wouldn't. If he knows who Mr. 1 is, he might take him deadly serious. And if he launches a spring hopper fist, Das Bones will turn into a sword and literally cut Bellamy in two. That's what I thought. If Bellamy had armament hockey and Mr. 1 didn't, it'd be one thing. But I can see why Bellamy lost. I really could. I did hope that there was enough Bellamy lovers out there like myself that would fight for the dude, but I get it. Mr. 1's a bait-ish. He is. And Mr. 1 is moving to round 2. Here we go. Round 1, match 4. Pacifista versus Kaku. Yes, this is the same Pacifista that fought the Straw Hats at Sabaody, if you remember correctly. That Pacifista. This is not Bartholomew Kuma. I did not include Bartholomew Kuma in this tournament for one reason. I never think at any point during the story he was an actual villain. He was always a good guy in disguise. He was undercover, and he was helping the Straw Hats from the very beginning. So I didn't include him, but I wanted to include the Pacifista, because this Pacifista, he gave Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji a run for their money, and they had to work together. Arguably, though, Zoro was very injured at the time, so he wasn't much help. So the Pacifista technically could probably be taken down by two, at the time, Zoro and Luffy, or probably a Zoro-Sanji combo, probably is enough to take down a Pacifista. In my opinion, pre-time skip. I think combined, healthy Zoro and healthy Sanji could probably take down a Pacifista. And then later we find out easily they can handle one on their own or together when they work on their hockey. But then we got Kaku, the Giraffe Man. I really like Kaku. I really do. He was actually my favorite of the villains in the Enies Lobby arc. Until later on, I think I learned to really like Lucci's character when we got his backstory and everything. I think Kaku needs like a little bit of a backstory. I liked Kaku's debut where he's in Enies Lobby, or no, he's at Water 7. He's pretending to be a shipwright, and then he has to go to the Sunny, and he jumps off the cliff, and he does that big dive that's in the opening credits. It's really a great scene. And then later, his reveal as a villain shocked me. I had zero idea that this dude was a villain, or any of them were villains. I thought they were all a bunch of quirky characters that were going to end up helping the Straw Hats at some point. But no. And I thought this fight was going to be pretty decent as well. I was wrong, and I know why I'm wrong. I mean, a pacifista, the guy, I mean, it really did hold off Luffy, the MC. But I do believe, I mean, Kaku was a tough SOB. He took everything Zoro had. I mean, Zoro was still running around and fighting afterwards, though. That's true. But Kaku's a quick dude, and he's a strategist as well. Those pacifistas, I guess, they're not stupid, but they're not the smartest in battle, and they're slow, but it took a lot for the Straw Hats to take down a pacifista. They're no slouches. I just expected Kaku to do better, but you guys were pretty, I mean, Kaku got 29%. Pacifista, probably because it has no character, got 71% and won this battle, and I 100% agree. But I do believe there is a world where Kaku could win a battle against the pacifista, especially after the time skip. I think Kaku has the skills and the will to beat this guy if he transforms into a giraffe. I mean, listen to me. Giraffe, most advanced predator in the animal kingdom. He transforms into a giraffe mode. He does that swinging neck thing he did at Eni's lobby, and he cut that building in half. You're lying to me if you tell me that wouldn't damage a pacifista if he's able to land it. My only problem is it took a lot of swings for him to hit it. And I would say that he would definitely do some damage to the pacifista. And I think that he could possibly win. Just, it's unlikely. If he had help from maybe if it was like pre-time skip Lucci and Kaku against the pacifista, hands down. Honestly, I would say Lucci on his own pre-time skip could beat a pacifista. Yes, sir. No way, Jose, is he going to lose. He's got all the will and all the skill to make that work, with or without hockey. You can quote me on that. Kaku, I think he's not, I mean, he is like half the power. He has half the power of Lucci, really, from what I've seen. I think it would be really hard for him to win, and I think he could win, but he didn't win here today, and I agree with that bad boy. Pacifista cyborg robot moves on. Next match of round 1, match number 5, Blackbeard and Oars. Zombie Oars ripped out of his arc, the Thriller Bark arc, against Blackbeard, the same Blackbeard that fought Ace, ripped out of his fight with Ace. I wanted to cut off his interactions with Whitebeard in Marineford, because I think if you give Blackbeard the Quake fruit ability that he steals from Whitebeard, I think that he would be overpowered for this tournament. He'd be decently Yonko level-ish. Yes, he still has to learn how to use the fruit, but it's still OP as shiz. So I would say no fucking Quake fruit is in this tournament. This is the same Blackbeard that fought Ace, which is a feat. So we got Blackbeard going head-to-head with Oars. The same Oars that took on the entire Straw Hat crew at once, and it took every one of them working together as a unit, and Luffy gaining the power of like 100 souls to take down that guy. So Oars, especially this Oars has the spirit of Luffy in him. So he's got that type of fighting style, and he's pretty damn dangerous. Whereas Blackbeard, when he took a couple shots, fire shots from Ace, was rolling on the ground crying like a baby. Where we got Oars who can't even feel pain. It took the strategery, and I said strategery just like that one president that said it. Strategic skills of Chopper the Doctor, because Chopper be doctoring, to line his spine up just so, to smash it and impact it down to beat him. And, you know, he did have a little assistance from Gecko Moria. So this is 1v1. Blackbeard ain't no slouch, though, son. He's got the power of the darkness fruit, the darkness thingy. So he could, like, suck him in, black hole ores. So I gotta say, Blackbeard gotta win this battle. Because I do believe if Luffy was 100% healthy and alone, and he was motivated enough, I think that he could take down zombie ores if he doesn't have any interference from Gecko Moria. It'd be a tough-ass battle. And he would have to go into Gear 3 minimum to do damage. He would have to give up a lot of his stamina. He would be pretty damn beat up by the end. But I think that Luffy could win that battle 5 times out of 10. Ors is a tough SOB, so it did take a lot of assistance from the rest of the crew and a decent strategy to take down this zombie who feels no pain. So it would take a lot for Blackbeard to win. For sure, it would not be an easy fight. The way that Blackbeard won percentage-wise, 92% against 8%, I get it. Blackbeard's a great villain, but maybe if he had the Quake fruit. If he had the Quake fruit, I could see him winning with a good pounding like Whitebeard would do. Whitebeard would destroy this ores. For sure. Zombie ores, yeah, he's done. So, with that fruit, possibly. Blackbeard is a tough gay. So I do believe he had some form of hockey at the time as well. No help from his crew here, so he doesn't have that. He would definitely take some damage, for sure, but with a good, decent strategy, Blackbeard can walk away the victor at 92%, guys. Here we go, folks. Round 1, match 6. The ladies are in this one. The 2 ladies that qualified for this tournament are in this battle. Caulifla and Perona. These 2 are going to go at it head to head. I wanted these 2 to go at it because they were only the 2 women that qualified for this tournament, according to me, the referee. And they made the most sense, and they were the 2 girls I believe that could possibly win somehow, some way, and Perona won. 93% to a measly 7% for Caulifla. And guess what? I agree, son. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Caulifla lost to Nami because she was overconfident and just wanted to take a damn bath in the middle of a fight to the death. I wouldn't say possible death. I mean, Caulifla's an assassin. Caulifla was more dangerous before she got her devil fruit ability. How many times can you say that? Caulifla was a badass assassin with a thorn whip back at Enies Lobby. When she got to Water 7 and ate that devil fruit and got the power of the soap thingy, Nomi, whatever you want to call it, she became fan service incarnate. It should be called the fan service fruit because that's what she got. And then she lost to Nami, who didn't even have the advanced weather skills she got at Weatheria. So yes, Perona wins. Negative fruits, exploding ghosts. That's all it would take. I think Caulifla could win, for sure, if she got a couple good hits. But she'd be too busy taking a damn bath. So yes, Perona, best girl of this tournament, moves on. Probably my favorite female villain, to be honest. Match 7 of round 1. These 2 were the perfect pairing. You have Saint Charlos from Sabaody, and you have Spandam from Enies Lobby. 2 absolute pricks. 2 absolute douchebags. And they go at it in a one-on-one fight in the ring. Who's going to walk away the victor? Well, at 82%, Spandam. Charlos, the worst of these 2, but not by far. Well, Charlos is a shit human being. Or celestial dragon. Piece of shit. He makes humans his horses. He walks on them. That was the most disturbing scene up to that point. That was rough. He's got human slaves. Come on, fisherman slaves. He shoots Hachi. He's the worst. He tries to capture Kami at the reverie. Ugh, fucking hate that guy. Spandam. I absolutely hated that guy. He slapped around Robin while she was unable to fight back. He dragged her by her hair, made her bleed her own blood. But there's one redeeming quality about Spandam, and the only reason he won this battle. The sword he wields, Funkfried, his noble elephant sword, is the only reason he wins this battle. He launches his Funkfried sword, and it tramples, kills Charlos, tramples him, wounds him. One shot. The same attack he used against Frankie, but this time it works. And it takes Charlos down. Honestly, I really wish that the Funkfried sword would be given to Zoro. I was hoping after Zoro's sword got rusted away, he would pick up the Funkfried sword and use it at least once and summon a damn devil fruit sword elephant. Wouldn't that have been sick? Please comment down below if you agree. But the winner is Spandam. But if you're paying attention to my community tab, you find out that the breaking news during the Grand Line tournament, Spandam won his battle thanks to his trusty sword Funkfried, but he was instantly assassinated or executed by Kizaru, the admiral, for wounding or maiming a celestial dragon. So both competitors are out of the tournament. So the committee, me, your fan of more anime, had to get together quickly and put together a new match 7 for round 1. And out of nowhere, Mr. 2, Bon Clay, takes on Duval. The dude that had his face manipulatedly, surgically changed by our boy Sanji. But this is pre-face change, because this is villain Duval, and this is villain Mr. 2. Both men have history with our guy Sanji. Both of them defeated by Sanji. Get it? Defeated? So these two go at it, and Mr. 2 with the record percentage, 98%, oh yeah! Duval, big dude, very big dude, and then later in the series shows how tough he is when he helps out the Straw Hats. But this is the asshole Duval. This is piece of shiz Duval with his ugly face, his weird face, going against Mr. 2, Bon Clay, the legend. This is villain Mr. 2, ruthless Mr. 2. And yes, he wins with his power of his Kempo and his kicks and his stuff he does. He easily wins because he gave Sanji a run for his money, and Duval didn't stand a chance. And I gotta say, easy one. And I almost didn't include Mr. 2 in this tournament. He was not on the list. The original fight was Charlos and Spandam. It really was. That was my bracket. All set up and ready to go. But Kizaru, doing his damn job as an admiral like he do, comes in, takes out Spandam without question, because he knows the rules of being a Marine. And if you see someone attack a celestial dragon, you take them out. You don't say any names. You don't say any words. You cover it up and you move on. So, the final match of round 1. And this is a doozy. I wanted to start with a big match and end with a big match. So this one here is 2 of our Warlords of the Sea, Shishibukai, Crocodile versus the man, the myth, the asshole, Gecko Moria. Yeah! I think these are my only 2 Warlords of the Sea in this tournament, and that was the reason I put these 2 together. I could be wrong. Pretty sure that's why I put them against each other. I personally think these 2 were probably at some point on par with each other. Currently in the New World, I think Crocodile's probably surpassed Gecko Moria. We don't know. Both have really strong devil fruits, defensive devil fruits. The thing is, Crocodile got a 94% of the vote. And that could be due to the fact that Gecko Moria is an annoying asshole with his, how's his laugh go? She, something like that. That laugh, oh my God. It doesn't get better. At least Caesar's laugh is somewhat funny with the God, he's going to be great in the New World Tournament. He really is. But Gecko Moria, I do truly believe, loses this battle 8 times out of 10 because he's a lazy asshole. Because he didn't even try when he was fighting Luffy. I think that Crocodile underestimated Luffy, but I think Crocodile is much stronger than anybody gives him credit for to pre-time skip. Hells yeah. Even Oda said I shouldn't have introduced Crocodile so soon because even Oda wanted Crocodile to be a bigger deal in the story. So I think that Crocodile wins. Crocodile was able to go toe to toe with Doflamingo at Marineford, and he definitely didn't get stronger rotting in prison with sea stone handcuffs on down to level 6. He was always able to go toe to toe with Doflamingo. So that battle happened, and our boy Crocodile came out pretty much unscathed. So I do believe he would find a way. He's got a Logia fruit, for God's sakes. It would take a lot for Gecko Moria to find a way to win, and he doesn't have the determination that Luffy has to find a way out of no way. So yeah, Crocodile moves on to round 2. Shocker. No, I think it'd be a really good fight. I think these two would go at it, and I think they're probably closer to equal terms than I'm giving Gecko Moria credit for. Now we're entering round 2, folks. The final 8 have been decided. My only problem was losing Lucci. We'll see how that plays out at the end. Match number 1 of round 2. Pacifista versus Blackbeard. 9% for the Pacifista. Surprisingly, honestly, I think that Blackbeard would have a decent problem with a Pacifista. Think about it. A Pacifista took on Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, and pretty much the rest of the crew at one time, and was a tough fight. This is Blackbeard on his own. Do you really think that he wouldn't have trouble with a Pacifista? This is round 2, folks. This is going to be a knockout brawl, and his armor that he's built with would be very helpful. The only thing that Blackbeard might be able to do is his black hole ability, like he did with Oars. He might have some form of armament hockey. Actually, for sure, definitely had some form of armament hockey because he beat Ace. Yes, he probably had some assistance from his crewmates here and there. They didn't show the whole fight, but he beat Ace, and Ace was a tough dude. He was able to hold his own with Aokiji during the Marineford fights. So Ace ain't no slouch. And neither is Blackbeard. So I understand why Blackbeard got 91%. I do believe he wins this battle, but I also believe that a Pacifista could win in the right scenario. But yeah, for this tournament's likelihood, I think that Blackbeard moves on to round 3. Or the finals, actually. The round 3 is the finals of this tournament. So Blackbeard enters the finals, folks. Round 2, match 2. We have Perona versus Das Bones. Mr. 1. I was actually really excited for this battle because after everything kind of shifted into round 2, I was trying to figure out how I wanted the brackets to line up again. And this match lined up perfectly. We have Perona with her Hack's Devil Fruit ability. And then you have Das Bones, the assassin, the pirate hunter. This dude can turn himself into a sword so he could come in and just chop Perona's head off. But No way, Jose. I'm sorry, Dazbones. You know, Baroque Works did pretty damn good in round 1. Crocodile, Mr. 2, and Mr. 1 all made it on. There's some nostalgia here getting votes going on right here. Alabasta is representing, and none of the Any Slobby people, none of the CP9 members made it on. Maybe it's just the tournament, how it laid out. I feel so bad for Lucci. I mean, actually, I take that back. Spandam did win his battle, but he did die after. So you have Perona pulling out her negative ghosts. Honestly, I could see this fight going either way. 5-5, like 5 wins for either 1 out of 10. I think that if Dazbones knows Perona's ability, he would avoid those ghosts. But I mean, Zoro knew that ability, and he definitely couldn't have he didn't avoid the ghosts. He probably should have. It didn't seem like he attempted to dodge it. I'd be hard-pressed to say that Perona could beat Zoro in a one-on-one battle. Or would want to, but I could. I mean, her ability is pretty hacks. Like, it's nuts. And she could blow you up with a giant exploding ghost. And she's not a dum-dum. She was able to use strategy against Usopp for a bit. But Perona wins. Perona goes on to the finals. I am so happy that my favorite female villain in the story went on to the finals of the story. Unless Nico Robin counts as a villain of the story, which I don't. So yeah, Perona, she definitely became a babyface. She became a quasi-hero when she helped Zoro. But in that arc, she was a straight-up villain, dog. So Perona's going to the finals along with Blackbeard, people. Big one. Didn't expect that. Pretty happy about that. She took down Mr. 1, the same guy that gave Zoro a run for his money. That's awesome. That's awesome. We're getting close here to the finals, folks. I promise. We have Foxy. Foxy made it to round 2. I love that. Versus Mr. 2, Bon Clay. Yeah. So I really see this playing out very similar to how Foxy versus Luffy played out. Really, if Foxy's allowed to use all his tricks and whatnot and maybe fight on his ship, even with all those bonuses, I don't think Foxy can win this. I really don't. Foxy got an 11%, surprisingly, against an 89 for Bon Clay. I agree that Foxy gave Luffy a good fight, but he had to use a lot of trickery. But I do believe Bon Clay has the heart of a lion. And I think that he would find a way to win that battle. Even if he got pretty dang beat up, I believe Mr. 2, the villainous Mr. 2, would find a way to win with his heart of a lion, of a hero within him that we meet later on. I do believe that Mr. 2 could win that battle, and I do believe he would move on to the finals, because he's gonna. No arguments here. Mr. 2, Bon Clay, the man of all men. Oh my God. He's got my vote. And here we go. The final match of round 2. Match 4. Enel and Crocodile. This is a big one. This might be bigger than Lucci and Enel. Really. Who wins this battle? Because I do think it could go either way. I really do. Enel was I guess he technically was the next big villain after Crocodile. And he was powerful. And he had really good observation hockey. So I think Crocodile would have to know what he's dealing with to find a way to win this. I think Crocodile could win this. Crocodile got a 25% by the end of the vote. Enel, solid 75%. This is one of the closer battles. It took a minute. Crocodile was winning the percentages, the votes at first, and then Enel took over. Honestly, in a one-on-one fight, if these two didn't know each other, I think Enel would win just with sheer might. And, he's a very powerful Logia type, but so is Crocodile, but his element, sand, doesn't necessarily hold up against lightning. So I can see why Enel won this, but I also could see why Crocodile could win this, and it's not that far off. Like, if this was an actual tournament and Crocodile actually got to watch Enel's first fight with Rob Lucci, I think that Crocodile would win. I think Crocodile would watch every fight meticulously, and he would figure out a weakness. He would find a way. I think Crocodile had some understanding of armament hockey. At least he had to have a little bit. And he was a master of his devil fruit. He might find a way to hurt Enel. That's the one thing that's really holding Crocodile back, is could he hurt Enel? Would it be a stalemate at best for him? I think if Crocodile knew in advance, he could win. But this is a one-on-one fight, maybe without knowledge. So 7 times out of 10, I say Enel wins this battle and moves on, just like the result, 75%. That makes sense. I do believe that Sir Crocodile could walk away with the victory, though. Here we go. I almost don't want to announce it. The finals. The finals. Perona, Mr. 2 Bon Clay, and now... and Blackbeard Marshall D. Teach go head to head right now. Who is the victor, people? Fatal 4-way. There's a reason I decided to shift the finals into a fatal 4-way. There really is. Because I felt like Perona and Bon Clay were outmatched against Enel and Blackbeard. I really did. I do think that Enel, I do think Perona has a chance. She has her devil fruit ability, the negative ghosts. I do believe her 10%. She got a 10%. It's not bad for her. She's not even the main villain of her story of any sort at all, and she made it this far. She beat out her leader, Gecko Moria, to the finals. Gecko Moria couldn't make it out of round 1. I'm proud of Perona's fight here. I do believe she has the ability to beat some of these dudes for sure with her ability, with her powers. Negative ghosts, exploding ghosts. Yeah, winner, Perona. No, I do see why she would lose, especially in a fatal 4-way. She would just be outmatched. She might be able to throw some ghosts around. Bon Clay, though, 2% sadness for my boy, Bon Clay. What have you done to my boy? What have you done to my boy? Bon Clay, he loses this fight. I know. It's sad. I do think he has the heart of a lion, and I do think in the right situation, he does truly have a strong 2 or even 5% chance of walking away from this fatal 4-way final match as a champion. He might be able to take down one of them, but he just doesn't have the right skill set. He couldn't hurt Enel. He doesn't have armament hockey. So he would be absolutely fried by him with one lightning bolt. It would take a lot, though. I mean, imagine Conus's father survived that lightning bolt. So, can someone explain to me how Conus's father survived that attack? I really hate that moment in the story. Blackbeard would probably be the one to dispose of Perona. I mean, Blackbeard took down Bonnie, who has a crazy Hax Devil Fruit. So I think that Perona, Darkness Fruit would consume her, especially if Blackbeard steps back, becomes the strategist we know he is, keeps an eye, lets the opponents take each other out. That's what I think. I mean, Blackbeard here, this guy here, he got a 76%. Enel, 13. Enel's been killing it, but he got 13%, and even if you give him Perona's 10 and Mr. 2's 2, that only puts him at 24, no. 25% against Blackbeard's 75%, give or take. That's the numbers. Look at my numbers. This is the percentages. So it really would come down to Enel and Blackbeard. I think that Enel's just way too damn cocky. And Blackbeard's the best villain in all, I almost want to say all anime. He's a damn good villain. I'm going to wait and see how his character plays out when the story's over. But he does a damn good job in part 1 of One Piece. Pre-time skip, Blackbeard kills it, and everything he does, and he's not in the story a lot, but everything he does is interesting. Everything he does is important. And I can't wait to learn more about him. And once we do, you'll... easy. If we find out that he had more power than he even did then. Darkness Fruit versus Logia. Both Logias. Darkness versus Lightning. Maybe if this was Kizaru, I could see Kizaru taking down Blackbeard at the time Marshall D. Teach with his light fruit. But I'm sorry. Enel's just too... he's got that god complex. That's gonna be his ultimate downfall. Blackbeard is your champion, folks. Oh yeah. But before we crown our boy, there was 2 competitors that I believed deserved a shot. And honestly were 2 of the strongest in this tournament that just got bad luck opponents in the first couple rounds. Crocodile and Lucci. I truly believe that Lucci would give Blackbeard a better fight than Enel. I think Enel's too cocky, too overconfident. He lost to Luffy because of it. I think if Enel used his powers properly, he could have killed Luffy and won the day. Not attacking him with lightning, obviously, but stabbing him, skewering him. But he doesn't have the skills that Blackbeard has over years of working on the Whitebeard crew. And he doesn't have the skills that I believe Lucci has. I personally think that Lucci should have been in the finals. The only reason he lost is we're not sure about his armament hockey. So I think that Lucci should have been in the finals, and I think that he possibly could have killed Blackbeard. I said it. But then I think about it. Blackbeard beat Ace in a decent one-on-one fight. With help from his crew, though. But I think it would be a damn good fight. I think that Lucci, with the right momentum, one slice of the throat, Lucci's your champ. Truly, truly. The White Crocodile, same thing. He's been through some shiz on the Grand Line. He knows this life. He was there when Gold D. Roger was executed. I also believe, with the right motivation and the right plan, Crocodile could beat Blackbeard at this time in the story, before he's a Yonko, before he has the Quake fruit ability. But it is how it is. The votes were cast. And just look forward to my next tournament. I think I'm going to do a Marines 16-man tournament and women tournament. I'm going to gather the 16 best Marines in the series and see who walks away the best of the best. And I hope it's not obviously Garp. We'll see. I might do something different. Give me some ideas in the comments for different tournaments down the line. It doesn't have to be One Piece. It could be a combination. It could be like a Naruto One Piece or a My Hero Academia One Piece. Don't give me a Dragon Ball Z versus One Piece, because it's almost obvious who's going to win that one because of the power OP-ness of Dragon Ball. But there's good tournaments out there that I'd love to talk about with you guys. But this one here, the Grand Line Tournament, Blackbeard's your champion. Thank you so much. Subscribe, share, like, and comment. I'll talk to you later.